There's that big, beautiful moon I was trying to show you, or thinking about showing you yesterday. Instead of getting it with my dash cam, I'm just getting it with my phone. I'm on my way to work. Early on Friday morning, so it's all wobbly because it's not mounted on my dash. Yesterday we talked about demons. We might talk about confidence today. We might also talk about control. If you have a controlling personality, then you're toxic. And so giving up control might be the next key we come to about discussing being a non-toxic person. So there we have it. That big, beautiful moon. All right, see you on the road. Happy Friday. We're about to go to Swedesboro, New Jersey. In addition to talking about confidence and control, also about importance and putting people on a pedestal, putting outcomes on a pedestal. By doing that, we create resistance and we make those things go further away from us, the things that we've made important. If we can make things unimportant, they'll be more likely to come into our lives. And the point of all that is to be less toxic, because if you are creating resistance, if you're a control freak, you're creating resistance by not valuing yourself enough, you're becoming toxic because you're trying to make up the difference for that perceived lack in your life. And you're using covert contracts, or using all kinds of tricky, maybe devious things to become as important as you want to be, but you're doing it the wrong way. You're doing it through external means rather than just making yourself as important as you deserve to be. And I'm talking to myself, of course, because I don't know if anyone's even listening besides me, because nobody's commenting. But it's still important for me to hear this from my own voice when I go back and listen to the videos. If I'm trying to rely on other people to give me value, I'm making them way too important. But if I can make myself important, then I'm letting my higher self direct things. I'm not relying on other people who will probably let me down. If you're like me, they always let you down. They always treat you the way you feel inside. So therefore they treat you like shit because you are not able to give yourself the value that would allow them to treat you otherwise. It's a vicious circle. You go around trying to get people to treat you the way you want to be treated, but you don't treat yourself that way. And so they can't, and there's never any satisfaction. And you're trying to trust the universe, but the universe is just going to give you what you're willing to give yourself, which is not very much. The universe is bountiful and is willing to supply you with bounty, with abundance, if you'll allow that to happen. So as we go down the road today, as we come back, I've got an incinerator trip after that. So who knows what and where and when we'll come back to this. But even if I don't come back, I may just post this video as it is. That's Lee. No, that's Kobe right there. I gotta look again. Yeah, that's Kobe. Okay, so I have conflicting thoughts. On one hand, I want to say trust the universe. Aaron Dowdy calls it source energy or God. Robert Zink also calls it God. Whatever you call it. Infinite power waiting to help you but not willing to be codependent with you. So you actually have to figure it out. You have to get your shit together. You don't have to work hard, but you have to have your energy in alignment with the universe somehow. So when your energy is needy, not only are you toxic, but you repel what you need. There's a Bible verse, unto whom much, no, what is it? I think it's in the book of Matthew. Unto those who have much, much is given, but unto those who have nothing, even that which they have will be taken away. It's kind of like the backwards law. When you have, then, or act as though you already have, to use the language of Robert Zink, the law of assumption, then more will come to you. Unto those who have much, much more will be given. But if you have the spirit of lack, if you have the energy of lack, then you drive away what you lack. When you're in a relationship, your exes are more interested in you again. You have a kind of vibration of abundance, and so everyone wants to give you more if you already have. When a woman finds a potential partner valuable, it's not difficult to tell. In my experience, when a woman finds me valuable, she wants to be abundant with her sexual offerings. So the sky's the limit. When the beginning of the relationship is there, she wants to shower me with what men typically want. So if it's different for women, if a woman is attracting a woman, maybe whatever it is that she perceives the other person wants is available. And that's abundance. So if you already seem to have, if you're me, if you already seem to have what you need, then a woman seems more likely to want to give you even more. So I'm coming back to what I was thinking about. Confidence, trusting the universe, control. If you are a control freak, it's because you have the energy of someone who has been hurt, who has been wounded, and because of that you want to avoid future pain. You want to control everything. So a control freak is coming from the energy of prior lack. What you used to, the state you used to be in was lack, and so you wanted to control everything. I'm shaking around because they're unloading my trailer here in Swedesboro, New Jersey. The view today is just as beautiful as it was last time I was here, I think. I'll let you decide, because that video I didn't erase. So if you're a control freak, it's because you don't trust the universe. You want to control every little thing, and that actually repels the abundance that the universe has for you. The universe is poised and ready to bless you, if you want to say it that way, or to gift you, to pour out goodness into your life, but only if you're in the right state of being. And it won't cheat, it won't coddle you, it won't it will wait. The universe will wait until you get in alignment, as long as it takes many lifetimes, and maybe never. And so if you're in pain and you hate the way life is treating you, and you're a control freak, and you send out the energy all the time, I lack, I lack, I lack, you'll keep receiving little or nothing from the universe and from the people around you, from life itself. If you have the energy of abundance you already have, then you'll continue to have, and maybe you'll have double or tenfold. That was a parable in Matthew. Now I remember, there was a man who had one talent. He went and buried the talent, and the master was wroth with him because he didn't invest it and get more. Someone who had 5 talents turned that into a profit of 5 more talents, and someone who had 10 talents doubled the master's investment and made 10 more talents. And the master was so pleased with that person that he gave the 1 talent from the first person to him. So the one who had the most ended up receiving even more. And that's how the energy of the universe works. Now, if you're the kind of person who is being treated badly, there are people who get off on, they feel better about themselves when they can get away with treating other people like shit. And they don't usually feel that good about themselves to begin with, or they wouldn't act that way. But how their own childhood woundings have left them feeling lack, and so in response, they'll treat other people like shit if they can get away with it. Even if the other people are good people, vibrating well, abundant people, but if they have a little flaw in their character of accepting, not drawing boundaries, and it isn't, I mean, even if the person really appears to have his or her act together, when it comes right down to it, someone who is living in lack can sense weakness in other people, and if they can get away with it, they'll treat you badly, and then they'll get their jollies getting away with treating you badly. And the universe allows that to happen until you get your act together and you stop putting up with it. And when you have your act together, people don't even try you. I was often telling young teachers that when I was supervising student teachers, I'd say, if you have your own game together, they won't even try you, but they can sense when you don't. I would come in and I would teach, and the students wouldn't give me any flack, and then my student teacher would try to teach, and suddenly the kids were trying everything they could get away with. So if people tend to try to get away with shit with you and treat you as though you're not valuable, it's merely a reflection of how you think about yourself, how you treat yourself. And I'm learning in my own partnership not to complain when I get bad treatment. I'm learning to look inside and figure out what it is about myself that makes people think they can treat me like shit. I don't have to complain. I don't have to insist on better treatment. If I have my inner game together, I'll get better treatment automatically. I won't have to demand it. I won't have to be controlling or conniving or sneaky. I won't have to notice all the things that other people are doing with people they value versus how they treat me. I won't even think about that if I have my own inner game together. So instead of fixing everything on the outside, like control freaks want to do, you have to fix everything on the inside. And I'm excited to talk to, I don't know who's listening, I'm excited to talk to myself about this, because I know deep down that it really works, that there is an answer. When you're in lack mode, you don't feel like there's ever going to be an answer. You just mope around hoping and wishing and wanting and never receiving. But when you start to have confidence, even if you haven't completely gotten it together yet, if you have confidence that when you do get it together, you will receive, you can start to relax. And even just in that first act of relaxing, you start to notice people treating you differently. and you get better treatment. And if anyone is treating you less well, they notice the treatment you're getting from others, and they think, something's changing here. If they're really the kind of people who treat other people poorly if they can get away with it, they treat valuable people by chasing them and fawning over them and being all excited about them, and they treat people they think they can treat badly. I noticed that when I do research in public schools, I ask the custodians and the secretaries about other people. And douchebags treat people they think they need to respect well, and they treat people like secretaries and custodians like shit because they think they can get away with it. And if you have a partner like that, you should probably consider switching or ditching. You're better off with nobody than with somebody who treats you as well as they think they can get away with. And if you look in the mirror and you see somebody who treats people only as well as you think that you can get away with treating them, you're looking at a douchebag. And if in that examination you think, I don't want to be a douchebag, you probably should look at some of your childhood woundings, and you should look at abandonment issues you might have, and some of your other deep-seated fears. You should figure out why you tend to treat other people only as well as you think that you can get away with treating them. If you have your own issues together, you have your own life in accordance with positive energy, you'll find yourself treating everyone well. Your heart will be open. You will have a magnanimous spirit towards everyone. And people who typically don't get treated very well will light up like lights when you come around. And it may even rub off on them. Maybe they'll start treating people better. I know for a fact that I don't want to be a control freak anymore. And I know that I don't want to be whining and complaining because I don't get the treatment I feel that I deserve or merit. I want to be abundant and generous, and they go together. I want to take good care of myself, make sure that I treat myself as well as I want to be treated. And I think that's the beginning of everything. Being kind to myself, I think, is going to make all the difference. So this idea seems to be a big one, a colossal idea. And going forward, I want to keep talking to myself, even if no one else follows this channel. Going forward, I want to make sure that I chronicle how it works out from this beginning. Let me know if you're doing the same thing. I'd love to have a dialogue with you about it. I had a thought related to what I said earlier. I was all positive and flowing with abundance and happiness with the universe. But of course, there are always two sides to the coin. So I was thinking about, if you're with somebody, let's just hypothetically say that you're a male and you're in a relationship with a female, open or not, doesn't matter. Let's say it's open, just for the sake of discussion. Let's say that you recently received a complaint from your female partner that all you think about is sex, and that's all you seem to want her for, to satisfy your urges. That's all she means to you. And of course, that would be terrible. Of course, that would be demeaning for her. So let's start right off with acknowledging that if that's true, then she has a valid point. But what if on the other side of the coin, you said, okay, my love language is hot, frequent sex, and that's what makes me feel important. And what makes you feel important is someone who will listen to you when you dump your toxic waste, and who will hold your hand and when we're on walks together, and who will cook for you, and other things that make you feel important. So you tell me that I am more valuable to you than your fuck buddies with whom you have hot, frequent sex. What makes you feel good about you is what you value. What makes you feel valuable is why you think I'm valuable. What makes me valuable, what makes me feel valuable, is hot, frequent sex. And so we have a conundrum here. Because you'd rather give me what makes you feel valuable and say that that counts somehow. And you'd rather have me give you what makes you feel valuable, which frankly sometimes is the absence of hot, frequent sex, especially if you can get that from other people. So what it looks like is there is a disconnect. It looks like one person values the other for something that negates the first person wants. So that's tricky. That's a tough problem to negotiate. Any suggestions? Okay, so to go along with what I said a few miles back, if you feel validated, again, we're in this hypothetical situation where you are the male in a male-female partnership that's open. If we think about, say millions of years of evolution in our species, for all those millions of years, when a woman has wanted to make a man feel valuable and wanted him to stay around, she didn't offer merely companionship, especially in the courtship stages and in the initial stages when children may or may not yet be there, near the beginning. Hot, frequent sex is what women have long done to show a man that he's valuable. They don't mess around giving him what they think makes him valuable. They give him what he feels good about. They give him what makes him feel valuable. They don't pretend that being in the friend zone makes most men feel valuable, even if that's what makes them feel like he's valuable. If he's willing to listen to their problems and provide companionship with no strings attached, with no payoff of sex. But let's just be honest, over millions of years, when a woman wants to make a man feel important and wants him to stay around, she offers a lot of hot, frequent sex. If a man wants a woman to feel valuable, maybe over those same million years, I don't know, but at least from what I can observe now, he wants her to know that she means. He wants her to know that she means more to him than sex. And if he wants to show her that she's valuable and wants her to stay around, he offers her commitment. He offers her constancy. He offers her something solid that she can use to feel safe. And in that context, she can feel safe rearing and raising children. So, again, we have a conundrum, but let's not pretend that offering a man your friendship, even though you feel that that's very valuable and he should feel honored by that, let's not pretend that that's what makes many men, at least, important and feel valuable. We all know, let's not pretend otherwise, we all know what women have done over millions of years to make a man feel valuable. And it's disingenuous, it's not being blunt and honest to say otherwise. The reason those thoughts were relevant to what I was saying earlier back in, where was I today? Secaucus? No. Keesby? No. Swedesboro. What I was saying back in Swedesboro, it is relevant because when you're thinking in terms of power, I gotta scoot over for this hazard here. When you're thinking in terms of power, if you're with a partner who will treat you the way they think they can get away with, as opposed to what's kind or what's compassionate or what you actually want, as opposed to what they want to give you, they don't do it because of any other reason, not because of what's right or wrong, what you should want or shouldn't want, and never apologize if sex is your love language. There's, unless you're sex negative. If you're sex positive, then you think sex is a good thing. There's never a reason to apologize if that's what makes you feel good about life and about yourself. If that's what makes you feel valuable. Now, you may do the work on your inner child and you may end up feeling valuable with or without sex, and that's ideal. But again, different people have gifts or listening or lots of other things that make them feel important. And if they're your attached partner, they'll say, this is what makes me feel good about myself. And then in an attached partnership, you say, great, I'll see what I can do. But if you're having a power struggle and you're with a partner who wants to give you what they think they can get away with giving you because they don't think you're very valuable, then that's relevant to the friend zone. It's relevant to other issues, other ways of feeling. That distracted me.
Hazard reported ahead.
Ways you didn't tell me about that hazard. There's the other hazard. There's the police you didn't tell me about either. State trooper. These are real people right next to the shoulder. This is such a dangerous road. 222 south. My heart goes out to all of you, especially my students who have to commute. I'm thinking about David right now. Such a dangerous commute. Anyway, I know that what I'm saying is controversial about the friend zone, and I would say as long as what validates you is not exploitative or abusive or neglectful, it's okay to say, hey, this is what makes me feel good about myself. And if your partner says, well, what makes me feel good about myself is if you don't need what you say you need, because that makes me feel like a piece of meat. That makes me feel not valuable. And again, we have that puzzle, that conundrum. Because I'm not criticizing someone who says that either. Gotta scratch your chin and wonder, what do we say here? I'm really trying to provoke you. I'm hoping that people will weigh in now and make comments, and we can have a real discussion. Okay, here's another thought. If we are talking about psychopaths or sociopaths, we have to admit that there are people who get their jollies from withholding from their partners what they need. Some people feel validated, some people feel important and special when they can get away with not giving their partner what they need, and the partner still sticks around. If you can flip a lot of shit on your partner, you can provoke your partner and neglect your partner and abuse your partner, and your partner still puts up with it and sticks around, that for some people is very validating. So if one person expresses a need for something, let's say it is sex, and the other partner feels valuable when they can deny and withhold, and that partner who says they need sex still stays, that's a sick and twisted situation. Withholding shouldn't be your love language. Getting away with withholding what the other person needs shouldn't be your love language. And if you say it is, you're full of shit. So that's something else to provoke you. But if the person legitimately is validated, especially if the person has trauma around sex and feels validated by a partner who doesn't need sex, I'd say that person needs to make sure, or else it's not in good faith, that there won't be a conflict between two legitimate needs. Okay, hopefully that also will draw some comments and some discussion. I don't know why I thought of this right now on the part of the road where I have to make all kinds of decisions. I have a phone call coming in too. Hello?
Hi, Alan?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Desiree, and I'm calling from Dr. Carrese's office at Comprehensive Care.
Yes?
She just wanted me to follow up. All of your results came back negative. There was just an issue with processing, that it was delayed like a week. But she wanted me to let you know that everything was set. You're good to go until your next appointment with her.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
All right, you're welcome. Have a good day and take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So because of my lifestyle, I am frequently tested for sexually transmitted diseases, and so when my results came back late, I wasn't worried, but I'm glad they came back, and they're all negative. Since that is going to be on the show, I suggest that everyone who is considering an open relationship do have a good relationship with a clinic that does free STD testing. Something that a lot of people throw out there as a reason to be monogamous, and there are counter arguments. For example, you could say, well, how do you know for sure that your partner's monogamous, even if you know for sure that you are? And some people refrain from sex altogether out of fear. And I don't
1.75 miles. Keep right to US 30 West.
I don't advocate refraining from living life in fear. I used to own a bright red crotch rocket, and people thought, hey, you could die on that thing. And I thought, well, I'd be happy in my last moments, and I'd rather live a short life that's happy than a long life that's constrained. And so, yes, be sensible, be as safe as you can, but don't let fear rule your life or your choices. So that was relevant, I think. So what if this hypothetical female partner in an open relationship comes back with, well, it's an open relationship. If you want hot frequent sex, you should get that from your fuck buddies, the way I do. And so if you say to that, but I would prefer that my partner is the person who seems to find me valuable, the most valuable. I feel valuable when you want me, and I don't feel valuable when you don't, because you're my partner. It means more when my partner wants me for some reason. And if my partner would rather have other people for that, it makes me feel small. It diminishes me, because it seems like she is valuing that the female partner would be valuing the fuck buddies more, because she's giving the fuck buddies what they most want from her, and she's not giving her partner what he most wants from her, and so he would feel diminished by that. So if you were, I keep thinking of your possible reactions. If you're saying, well, you're in an open relationship, don't bother her with it, find someone else for that. And it's interesting because in my own situation, if I have friends with benefits with people, and they are treating me the way men traditionally want to be treated in order to feel valuable, they may also want more permanence in that relationship and more commitment. And they may be making a covert contract to try to get what they want, if it isn't just hot frequent sex. And to be fair, there are women who just want that.
In 1/2 mile, turn right on River Road.
No judgments. And that's great. But if there is a covert part where they're secretly hoping for more of what traditionally women want, then you've got the same problem on the other side, in reverse. All kinds of rabbit holes here. You can see the windmills before I leave you. That's good. That's what I usually want you to see, is the windmills turning on Turkey Hill. We all know people who make themselves bigger, who make themselves feel bigger by making other people feel smaller. And if that is an issue in any of the hypothetical if that is an issue in any of the hypothetical situations you may want to relate, please say so.